Let me tell you how HOA Karen tried to flex her paintbrush and accidentally triggered a full county investigation on herself. I work for our county's Department of Planning and Code Enforcement. Specifically, I'm the guy who inspects neighborhoods, handles zoning disputes, and ensures residential codes are followed. It's not glamorous, but it pays well, and I know my stuff. I also recently bought a house. It's an older place in a quiet neighborhood with a voluntary HOA. That's key, voluntary, meaning I'm not required to join, pay dues, or follow any of their rules unless I choose to. I didn't choose to. The house needed some love, but it was structurally solid. I spent the first few weeks repainting the siding, fixing gutters, and replacing the faded numbers on my curb and mailbox. I used reflective paint, met the local 4-inch height requirements, and even threw in a little American flag stencil for fun. Enter Karen. Karen is the self-appointed enforcer of the HOA. Middle-aged, clipboard-holding, power-walking menace with sunglasses so big they look like windshields. She doesn't just mind her business. She micromanages everyone else's. Within the first week of moving in, she had already left a typed note on my door about non-compliant trash can placement, demanded I remove my unauthorized flag decoration from the mailbox, warned me that my curb numbers were not HOA standard font. Again, I wasn't in the HOA. I told her that, politely, and offered to show her the property documents. She refused. Just because you don't pay the dues doesn't mean you don't live in the neighborhood, she sniffed. Cool logic, Karen. I shrugged it off, until the morning I walked outside and saw that my address numbers were gone. Not scratched off, painted over. Someone had rolled gray paint perfectly across the curb, covering my address and stencil entirely. Even the mailbox had been tampered with. The numbers were replaced with ugly generic stick-ons. And guess who was out walking her little rat dog while casually glancing at my house? Yep, Karen. I decided not to confront her right away. Instead, I filed a report with the sheriff's office for vandalism. Then, I did something she never saw coming. I showed up at the next HOA meeting, in uniform. Karen's jaw practically unhinged when I walked into the clubhouse wearing my official county badge and jacket. She tried to act casual, but you could see the panic setting in. Oh, are you here about that new porch someone installed without? No, I said calmly. I'm here about unauthorized alterations to county-mandated address markings. Someone painted over emergency service identifiers, which is a code violation and a potential hazard. Silence. I pulled out photos of my curb before and after. I also showed the sheriff's vandalism report and explained that tampering with address markings is a Class C misdemeanor in our county. Especially dangerous because emergency services use those numbers to locate homes. Then I dropped the bombshell. As a county inspector, I'm now required to conduct a spot audit of HOA compliance and review any architectural modifications made under Karen's leadership. I turned to her. Do you have your permits ready? Karen turned white. Turns out, during her 5-year reign of terror, she'd approved fence extensions into utility easements, installed cameras on public easement poles, signed off on beautification projects with no permits or reviews. Over the next 2 weeks, I conducted a full audit. The results? The HOA was hit with $12,000 in fines. Several residents received notices of violation. Karen was voted out as HOA president, and a new rule was passed: no interaction with county officials outside of formal correspondence. Oh, and my curb? Repainted. Professionally. Paid for by the HOA. Aftermath? Karen tried to send a passive-aggressive apology letter. I mailed it back with "Return TO Sender" stamped across it in red. My neighbors? Most of them actually thanked me. Apparently, they'd been suffering under Karen's petty tyranny for years, and no one knew how to deal with her until she picked the wrong curb to mess with.